Hello, and welcome home to the Church of BL. I'm Saint Peachy, your patron saint of the problematic. Topic of the day today being OMEGAVERSE. Before I get into anything, I'm making this little video essay with the assumption that we all know what OMEGAVERSE is. But if you don't, I've linked a cute little video by Coley Does Things down below, and they will take good care of you. So, let's get started. At first, I was a little squeamish about OMEGAVERSE. Not that you can't like it. You can like whatever the fuck you want. We're pro-ship in this house. But due to some gender-ish reasons... I'm non-binary, they, them, please. The impreg aspect just wasn't my vibe for a very long time. But as a human in the kink community, I love me some power dynamics, and boy does OMEGAVERSE have that in spades. So I dipped my toe in the water. And then again. And again. And again. And here we are. A giant OMEGAVERSE fan who will die on this hill. While yes, impreg is a huge aspect of the OMEGAVERSE genre, there's so much more to it than that. Which is what I'm kind of wanting to touch on today. To start us off, I asked my Discord server to share some of the reasons why they love OMEGAVERSE, and this is what they told me. However, this one deserves its own dedicated screen time because, oh my god, Flamingo, I fucking love you. Things I picked up on the most would be folks' love for pheromones and the general uses of them. Be that in compatibility, figuring out someone's vibes, or even when used while nesting. When the Omega surrounds themselves in the alpha's smell, typically while using their clothes like a nest. Some folks described that they loved the particular style of world building that OMEGAVERSE offers, and also loved just the general use of animalistic traits on humans. Some brought up rutting and how the sexual intensity of that is attractive. Some just said that impreg in general was hot. And, you know, valid point. I also had a few talk about how OMEGAVERSE can be gender affirming, which is a great segue because that's a huge thing for me as well. For me personally, I have tons of reasons why I love it, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to keep my thoughts to the two most important ones to me: classism and the AFAB experience. Let's start with classism. Classism is defined by Oxford as a prejudice against or in favor of people belonging to a particular social class. The most common class system in OMEGAVERSE seems to place omegas on the bottom of the food chain, the betas in the middle, and the alphas on top. While I know not every universe follows those rules, and I do find it a bit more interesting when they don't, the vast majority of OMEGAVERSE titles that I've read do follow those rules, so I'm speaking with that trope in mind. The general classism of OMEGAVERSE is not hard to see, and it reflects a lot of the classist society that we live in today in many different ways. It will always be frustrating to be discriminated against due to parts of yourself that you have no control over. Be that as someone of color, someone of the LGBT+ community, or an Omega who can't control their heat cycles in public. It may sound cringe and stupid to some, but to others who have lived experience with real-life discrimination, many of the themes used in ABO universes may hit home for them. A title that I feel highlights this is Peak Romance. It's one of those manga where you really need to let them cook, because the more you read, the more intense it gets. It starts off fairly romantic comedy-esque, but escalates from there. Without spoiling too much, the MC really grows throughout this manga. It is a great read. Hi, hello, different outfit. So did I get distracted yesterday and only record one half of this video? No, I wouldn't do that. So, second reason why I love OMEGAVERSE so much, the AFAB experience. There's a lot of carryover between the AFAB experience and those of Omegas in particular, be that bodily function-wise or just how they're seen in society. As an AFAB human, I can relate to Omegas when it comes to how we're seen by men in general, and cis straight men in particular, if we're being honest. We're often objectified and sexualized at first glance, especially if we dress in a certain way. I feel like a good example of both this kind of treatment and classism would be Low Tide and Twilight. It highlights a lot of the specific oppression that Omegas go through in comparison to betas and alphas, as well as kind of covering what type of person alphas are expected to be. It's not just Omegas that get the brunt of social stigma. Betas and alphas do too. However, I want to add that I especially appreciate the Omega in Low Tide and Twilight. As an AFAB human who isn't the most wealthy of people and doesn't exactly have family to back them up when they're in a pinch, this particular AFAB human relates to this Omega a lot. There are so many little things that go on in Low Tide and Twilight, specifically that have to do with the Omega, that are so AFAB coded, and it's just so fucking good. Please read it. Oh my god. It also has one of the best redemption arcs I think I've ever read. So, high key suggest picking it up. And you know, while I'm at it, bonus point, gender expression. There are tons of gender expressions in OMEGAVERSE, regardless of the particular universe that the author is using. The fact that all of these expressions that are shown in OMEGAVERSE, depending on the universe, are considered real and valid is refreshing to someone who is constantly told that their particular gender expression was a choice and does not exist. Don't get me started. Despite appearances, I am a male-leaning non-binary human, and having characters who are male-presenting but have AFAB bodily functions and issues is super affirming, despite the fact that it's fiction. A title that really hits home for me when it comes to gender expression and just learning how to be yourself in the body that you're given is Smirda and Capri. Please don't come for me if I'm saying that wrong. I have legit no idea how to pronounce Smyrna. Smyrna? Smyrna. And Capri. Son. Anyway, this particular series is Alpha X Alpha, technically, with a bit of a twist to it. And if you're not really into impreg, it is kind of heavy on the impreg. But just trust me, if that's not your thing, you'll still love it. It's very close to my heart. I love this series. It's also hella spicy. So there's that too. Very pretty art. A bazillion out of 10. I fucking love Brothers Without Tomorrow. I'll probably do a video on them soon, just rating all of their titles because I am obsessed. There's so much to OMEGAVERSE that just gives it a level of oomph that other genres just don't have for me. Sure, there's a kinky side to it, but I swear to you, the amount of tears I have cried over relating to this shit is immense. With all of that said, if you haven't already, try an Omegaverse title. I promise you it is more multifaceted than you might think. This was just a smidgen of info, but for more conversation on this and other topics involving BL, you can check out my Discord server, wherever my QR code ends up being, probably over here. Scan that thing. Come join us. One of us. One of us. One of us. I hope you enjoyed my short little vent about Omegaverse and why I love it so much. And until next time, you're valid. I see you. Have a great evening.